Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic week. I've got a very interesting video for you today, and that is the comparison between American and European homes. Now, being in South Africa, I've got no clue the difference between European and American homes, so this is something that definitely interested me, and I thought it might spark your interest as well. So yeah, without any further delay, we're going to get some differences between American and European homes. Let's go.
Started. So I wanted to start outside because it is very convenient. Things about American homes that I don't see in France has to do with the post office, which is not my favorite part of France. The post office has made me cry numerous times. But what's so great in the US is that with your mailbox, of course, the mailman drops off letters. But if you want to send letters, all you have to do is open the mailbox, put in your letters, and then you just raise the little red flag. And it tells the postman that you want him to pick up the letters that are inside. It's very convenient. And I know in France, they're starting now where you can choose a time, tell the post office, leave something inside, etc., and plan like a whole appointment to get your mail picked up. But I think it's kind of nice that you just have this nifty arrow. Behind me, you can see some of the neighbors' houses.
Yeah, folks, before we go any further, I think we can all agree that sometimes the post office can be a bit of a headache. A lot of the times things don't go according to plan. So to have that nifty feature there where you can simply put your mail, put the tag up, and a postman sends your letters to the post office to be sent to its final destination is definitely very convenient. So European homes, come on, get with the times.
Houses next to my mom's house. I always feel like I've made it home to the Midwest when I drive up and there are no fences or walls or things blocking the front yard. In the US where I'm from, you can't really see inside people's backyards, but the front yards tend to be really open. That's not to say that sometimes you won't see fences, but usually you can see what's going on in people's front yards. As you can see, the three neighbors behind me, there are no fences in their front yards. One of the things that I feel like is typically American as well when I drive up or I come to homes in the US is that there tends to be a lot more cars versus the number of people who live in the house. So you can see here that there are two people that live at my mom's, but they have 1, 2, 3, 4 cars in the driveway, and all 4 of those cars are their own cars.
Okay, so let's speak on that. This might also be her own personal experience because even when I speak to most American people, it's not common that you will have 4 cars to belonging to the same people. So I think, it's all very dependent. But she does make a good case. There are less vehicles per person in Europe than in the US. In Europe, people are making use of public transport and these type of things, where in the US, it's more of a drive to your destination type of culture, similar to South Africa. We also drive to our destinations more often than not. So I can definitely understand her point of view, where there's probably more cars per person in the US than in Europe.
And in France, I tend to find that a lot of times there's 1 car for 2 people, or maybe you've got 1 car for 1 person and 1 car for the other, but there's not 2 cars for each person. This tends to be very American. So as I walk into the house, you can't feel it the same way that I can, but there is, first of all, a golden retriever. It's pretty American. Ooh. Say hi, Piper.
What a cutie.
Say hello to everyone.
Love
it's also
dogs.
The blast of cold, icy air that I'm feeling right now as the air conditioning takes over. There is so much air conditioning in the US. I have personally maybe been in 1 home in France that actually has air conditioning. Yes, there's air conditioning in offices, there's air conditioning in restaurants, in grocery stores, but when it comes to people's actual homes, they tend to live without air conditioning. And in the US, air conditioning is in almost every home that I've ever been in, and it is blasting. So in terms of the difference of temperature outside and inside, it's huge. The next thing I'm gonna show you is...
Oh man, I love going into an air-conditioned room. Again, in South Africa, air conditioning also is not very common. It's installed in some people's houses, but it's not overly used. It's very expensive as far as electricity and power consumption is concerned. And the weather all year round is pretty good, so there's no real internal heating or air conditioning. But I could definitely use it in some of those hot summer days. Let me tell you, sometimes you're baking inside, 30, 35 degree, 40 degree weather. just lying in home, just wishing you had air conditioning. And I love an air conditioned room. So that is definitely a benefit that the US have over most other countries for sure.
Is maybe my most favorite thing about American homes that I wish we had in France. And it's actually part of the windows, which sounds kind of weird. But if I open up this window, you guys will see that there is a screen. Dun, da, da,
What do you mean a
on
screen?
the window. So a screen pretty much lets us open up the window, get some fresh air in here when the air conditioning's not on, and it keeps out the mosquitoes, the bugs, the flies, etc.
Is that just like another window pane?
I've never seen a screen on a window, guys. We have flies that come into our apartment in Paris. We have mosquitoes during the
I
summer.
think I know what it
and
is.
I think it's so convenient and so nice, and I have never ever seen one in a French home. So you'll let me know in the comments below if you have, but these are not very common, and when I see them, I'm like, we are in the US. All right, so then.
Okay, so let me know if I'm wrong or not, but it seems like it's like a perforated, sheet, probably with like small enough holes that the air can come through, but other things cannot come through, such as insects and things like that to that nature. I can definitely see why that is very convenient. I have not seen a screen behind the window at any South African home that I've ever been to, so that definitely does seem like a unique American thing and very, very useful. I would love something like that installed for sure.
The next thing I want to show you is in the kitchen, and this is another one that I think is very convenient and that I've never seen in France before. So
before we continue, these folks have quite a nice house. What do you guys think? Very, very nice, very big, kitchen island with a sink and stuff like that. So let me know, is this a conventional US home or is this a very nice, US home? I'd be interested to know.
Here we are at the sink, and not only is the sink really massive, and I don't see that as often in France, like these really big sinks, and also the sink, when you turn it on, you've got this contraption here where you're able to move it, and then you're also able to change the type of water. This is not something I see as common in France, but that's not really the big thing about the sink. The big thing is the garbage disposal.
Oh.
Almost every home has a garbage disposal. So pretty much you're able to put food down the sink, and then you turn it on, and it just blows all the food to smithereens.
Don't get your hands stuck.
And you don't have to put all of the food in the garbage. And I find that really convenient when you're cleaning and stuff, and I've never seen that in France before. Another difference is the
Also, if in case you guys are interested, in South Africa, also no garbage disposal. Never seen one, operated one in my life, but I can also definitely imagine that it's convenient. My question for you folks is, does it dissipate with the water, or does it go to a bucket or something that you have to then empty out yourself, such as compost or something? I want to know, where does that garbage disposal actually go?
The amount of ice that Americans consume. And when I'm in France, of course, people in their homes do tend to have ice if you ask, but they don't tend to really have massive ice makers. And when you go to a restaurant, for example, in France, and you ask for ice, you get 2 or 3 cubes. And when you go to the US, you have an entire glass full of ice. Sometimes it's too much ice, if that can even be possible. And if you look at my mom's refrigerator, for example, you already have right here, ice that you can get at the front of the refrigerator, which I see less in France, but you can find, of course, but also just the amount of ice. So if you look into my mom's freezer, not only do you have a massive bowl of ice here for the ice maker, but not only do you have one there, but you also have a second one. So up here, there's also the ice. So she's got 2 different ice makers so that she never runs out
Can't
of
have too much ice, it
I
seems.
feel like that is something that you don't really see as often in France, but that doesn't really shock me too much. So one of the final things that is very typically American in homes is we've got the good old couch over here. And imagine that I'm having a very tired day and I want to relax at night and I want my feet up. Instead of putting my feet over here on this perfect ottoman, I'm just gonna lean over and
Lazy boy.
just gonna recline my feet slowly. Yes, Piper, just reclining. Oh, and it goes back a little bit, and then I'm just gonna relax and watch my TV. Again, you
Oh,
guys can let me
they're
know
on a
in the
lake
comments below
there.
if
That's
you know
such a
why,
nice
but
view.
I feel like that is very typically American to be able to just recline my feet. And when I was growing up, they weren't electric like they are now. It was like a big old handle that you would pull back like this and then your feet would go flying up. But super comfortable and practical, but not something I see very often in France. Can you guess how many televisions we have in a home here for 2 people? I'm going to show you. Television number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and just in case one TV with the workout machines is not enough, we've also got TV number 6.
Just leaning on the couch.
TV number?
No ways.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay, I want to say, that would be
That's
ridiculous.
just all of the thermoses, the insulated cups that we have in the US.
Okay.
No, but seriously, when it comes to TVs, there are a lot of TVs in lots of different rooms, and most of the time in the US, people have televisions inside of their bedrooms, as well as in the dining room, as well as in the den, as well as sometimes in the kitchen. And in France, I really normally see one TV in the entire house. So it's just, as soon as I see lots of TVs in homes, I just think, yep, this is the US. All right, guys, that is a wrap on all of the differences between French and American homes that I wanted to point out to you. Let me know in the comments below what you thought and some of the differences that you notice when you're traveling back and forth. If you're interested in Lingoda, don't forget to check that out.
Okay, cool. So that's a nice bit of comparison between the differences existing between American homes and European homes. I think this lady is comparing specifically France and America. And I also could see some differences between American homes and South African homes that I'm used to. But yeah, no, it was definitely very interesting. The TV thing, guys. Do you have TVs in every corner? Is that true? I can definitely see the appeal of having a TV in your room to like relax in your bed. But as I've grown older, I've kept the TV, in the lounge area, and then the bedroom is for sleeping. The lounge area, is for Netflix and watching movies and all that kind of stuff. But this was a very, very beautiful home. I found this very insightful, very interesting. I think what you'll find, in summary, is that an American home has a lot more space, whereas European homes, just based on the nature of the country, is more tight fit. When I visited my friends, in the Netherlands, when I visited my friends in Europe, a lot of the homes are a lot smaller, a lot more compact, where American homes seem to have a lot more free space, a typical white picket fence, suburban area home. So I like it a lot. But folks, let me know what you thought of this video. Is it an accurate representation of an American home? I'd definitely be interested to hear your opinions. I love your comments. I read every single one. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you have the best week possible. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. But until next time, I'll see you when I see you. Cheers.